Are your sales down on your listing on Amazon and you're wondering why? You can't seem to get enough traffic to the listing. Some sales are trickling in, but it just doesn't quite feel right. You might have a hidden image suppression. There's no tool on the market that can show you how to catch these. The tips that I'll show you in this video are all manual and free, and you're gonna wanna check this out because if this happens to your listing, it's gonna shut down all of your sales. So on a listing such as this, if your image is bleeding, that is crossing the pixel line, it may cause the product to not be found via organic search. So if we zoom in on this image right here, you'll notice on the bottom right, if the book is crossing this line barrier, the algorithm is basically doing a check to see if this is a legitimate image, quote unquote. Now, if the image is bleeding, that is not having enough pixels on the exterior of the image where it's white, it can cause a suppression. So what does that look like when you go to Amazon search results? So this particular product does not actually have a suppression at this time, but if I was gonna type in a typo here and you see no results for that ASIN, that is what a hidden suppression looks like. Here's an example of an image that's done correctly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna zoom in on this, open image in a new tab, and what you can see is along the line, there is a safe border of pixels. And although you do technically see kind of a tiny bit touch on that left-hand side right there, that's very unlikely to cause a trigger. However, if we had the image with the letter or the card going off the screen, or there's an emoji or some sort of object that doesn't look like it's part of the main product, part of the packaging or the product, it can cause a suppression. Now, I am doing quite a few things that are on the edge of acceptable with Amazon. I'm gonna show you some of these things. And by the way, I think they're totally fine to replicate. And I've been monitoring this, I've been testing this for several days now. Here is an example of an image where I'm using fruit to describe the scent or the flavor of a product. This product image is fine. It is not causing any problems. Now, we pretty much know within 15 minutes of loading an image to Amazon on whether it's going to cause a suppression, because all you have to do is take the ASIN like this, go to Amazon.com, make sure you're not in any category dropdown like this, and hit search. If it comes up like this, there's nothing wrong, you're good to go. The problem with the main image suppression is it's pretty much hidden and does not show up on the back end of Seller Central. So when you're in the back end of Seller Central, you do get quite a few alerts and information and pointers, and they're helpful. For example, you can go to the listing quality dashboard, and in here it does show you some search suppressions. However, what we have repeatedly found is that this is not catching the image or the title hidden suppression. There is no tool on the market that catches what we're describing. You basically have to manually search it yourself. So if you use a virtual assistant or you have somebody on your staff, once a week or once a month, depending on your scale, size, and risk portfolio, you need to come in and type in every single one of your products manually, search for it, make sure it comes up. This is particularly true if you want to be playing on the edge of the barrier for what is possible on a main image. Now, I've done a lot of interviews with image experts like Anthony from PickFu, and everybody agrees that it's really good to be aggressive with your main images right now. A simple change like this can lead to a massive market share increase. For one gentleman, I helped redo his main image. It led to him getting 60,000 weekly visitors to his page. He was obviously a top seller already. We made one change to the main image. We added a big important keyword phrase to the main image, and it made a massive traffic increase. I personally believe that main images are the #1 way to grow sales on Amazon right now. More powerful than PPC, more powerful than any other SEO tip, merchandising, or otherwise design element. So you really do have to play with your main images right now. Run some PickFu tests and A/B tests. And by the way, you can get a promo code over at pickfu.com/myamazonguy for 50% off. Appreciate you buying me Chipotle in advance. So there's a lot of opportunities here. So that's why when we're on some of my listings here, I've been becoming increasingly aggressive with what I'm trying to place. And we're trying to figure out like what's the best way to get attention and get clicks. Having said that, I'm taking a lot of coaching calls right now about people getting their images suppressed simply because the image is bleeding over the edge. This does not apply to the secondary images. This does not apply to the A+ content, the brand story down here. You can see some beautiful A+ content. This is premium A+ content, by the way. You can throw a video in there. Highly recommend engaging and doing your brand story and qualifying for premium A+ content. Check out those videos here. But basically, if you don't have your main image correct, none of this other stuff matters. So I took a call today with a top seller in their category, and they had image bleed issues. They thought that their product was marked as adult, and that's why they were overstocked and they couldn't sell anything. And I basically went through this exercise, and within 15 seconds, we searched their ASIN, found it did not come up in the main category, but came up in the subcategory, proving it was a hidden suppression. And they're gonna have their main image re-uploaded and fixed within 24 hours, and they're gonna start selling that unit again. It's really that basic in solving this problem. You don't need to be a designer to test whether you have an image bleed problem either. There's a free program called IRFAN, IRFAN, and you can just Google that, download it real quick, and copy and paste any one of your images into it, and basically just go around the border like this. Okay, nothing bleeding, good, 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 good. Maybe a tiny bit of bleed there, tiny bit of bleed there, and then there's a potential bleed on the top. Now, again, I'm getting, this image is fine, it's not causing a flag. Just because you are bleeding does not mean it will cause a flag. But if you have a suppression, you absolutely want to come in here and basically paste in some additional pixels. Here's another program I like to use. Is kind of like a non-designer's editing program. One step above Paint Shop, but not Photoshop confusing to the layman. And it's called Snag It. And in here, if we wanted to just simply add some white space, all I'd have to do is that. That's it. And you know, I could come in here and just, you know, fill it up with white like that. Right, of course, got to use the right color here. Let's try that again. There we go. So if I had a suppression, I could just come in here and just add, you know, make sure there's like 5 pixels, maybe 10 if you want to play it safe. Save this image and simply re-upload it. Now, if you're looking for sizing regulations and things to look for, I have an awesome image guide. You should check that out here. We'll have a link to that in the video. And it talks about how you need a minimum of 1500 by 1500 pixels. 2000 minimum is what I generally recommend, but 1500 is the baseline. So if you don't have 1500 pixels on the smallest side, that is also a problem. So down here in the bottom middle, both programs, the free one, IRFAN, or this one that costs like 50 bucks, Snag It, you can see the width and the height of a pixel. All kinds of photo programs can tell you the measurements very quickly. I highly recommend looking at it and verifying your images are large enough. One quick way to do this is simply go to your images like this, zoom in, right-click, open image in new tab, copy this over and go into any photo program like IRFAN, just like I did here, and you'll see this comes in at 1500 by 1500 pixels. Some of the other things that we have in our image guide, which we've had this up for 4 years now, it's every single thing in this guide has stood up to the test of time. We talk about how to focus the image, what to put in the main image, all kinds of really juicy, important things are in here. So you're going to want to check this out next. Some of the real big highlights, though, the top level highlights, I recommend using JPEG. If you load a PNG, that can also lead to suppressions. 7 photos per item. The 7th photo won't display, so put your weakest photo there if you load a video, which I highly recommend. And then some of the shots that I recommend taking, obviously main image on white. This won't apply to some home categories and some other things that use lifestyle images for main images, but by and large, that's the best practice. You can see what your other people are doing in the top 100 of your category to see what you can get away with. You want to take a back item, a close-up shot to show a feature, infographics, lifestyle, aspirational, which I like to call the humanizing shot. This is is when you show the product in use. I did a really awesome masterclass where I broke down one of the most famous brands in the supplement space. It's called my listing optimization video. And I basically showcase like how important some of these elements can be and what to do. There's a really big component very early in the video. I'll just highlight briefly, and you're gonna wanna watch this one next. And it's when I'm looking at these photos and describing how she's looking at the camera and the sort of shot that needs to be on screen, where you've got like a close-up of the tongue, and you put the supplement on the tongue and really showcase like the banana for scale. What am I getting with this product? Some really important guides that I go through on how to get these main images correct. So watch this Amazon listing optimization video next. Or if you have a suppression and this guide didn't help you fix it, you may have a problem with your title instead of the image. And I have a video called Hidden Suppressions, Amazon suppressing for title violations like the word gift. And I was the first one on the internet to identify this problem and describe it. So check that video out next if you're still having trouble and it might be your title instead of your images. Thanks for watching. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, and we're one of the leader agencies in the Amazon space. You can always check us out over at myamazonguy.com. You can hire us for a la carte coaching or hire us for full service to manage PPC, SEO, design, and merchandising, troubleshooting, and everything in between to manage your Amazon account so you got peace of mind, and we try and grow your sales as well. Thanks for watching.